how has touring been just in general? You know what I'm saying? Like
touring, it's fun. Like it's as fun as recording because it's like now you get to perform the music that you made, you know, and you get to go to places that. And when someone will call and tell you, like, yeah, you got booked for a show in Germany to go, like, what?
Yeah.
It's crazy because that's your first realization that music can take you anywhere and everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And
love that shit too.
it's fun. I mean, how could you not love just performing for 45 minutes? And when you show up to your dressing room, there's all kinds of liquor and food and fruits and shit. And like what? What are we talking about?
It's what you imagine it to be. Most people when they have a concept of what being a musician is, the road is like where that concept comes from. And there's certain things that are just standard about the road. You know what I mean? You go to a new place, you do the sound check, you absorb the city, you go to the after party. You know what I'm saying? You do the show. There's certain shit that happens. It's like clockwork. You know what I mean? And you start to develop routines, and there's certain things that make you comfortable. Like I used to wonder why people put certain stuff in their rider and all that stuff. Like you start realizing why people do that, or
why do people do that?
Why they request
for the one time that you didn't request that shit and you end up in a motherfucking with like some shit with some wet ass grass and like when you don't request it, then you can't be mad when you don't get it. Like the one time when you just like, man. Because sometimes y'all managers will hit us back, what do you want on the rider? And I'm like, I already told you what I want on the rider and not thinking anything else. And that's the one time you needed like some towels or some t-shirts or, or some food.
On a real tour, you doing shows every night. So, a lot of people think you just, whatever, smoking and drinking the whole time. Like, you can't do that. After like the 5th date, your voice is going to give out. So you need tea at the drink. Like,
now see, that's understandable.
Certain things at the drink. You need like Altoids. You need certain things there. Like, and people will be like, why do they want this? Why do they? After a while, there's certain things that give you the comfort. That becomes your home.
Then
backstage becomes home. The same way you come to the crib and you might be like, man, it ain't no Captain Crunch. My girl ate the cat. Like, you be mad about that, or your home, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You be mad about that, or you be like, I want to watch this TV show. It's the same way when you're on the road. You get backstage, you want certain things there. You know what I'm saying? Where it's
don't think there's too many hard
drives? It was this bottom shelf tequila. We want Patron. We don't want that shit.
What if it was like, I mean, what you think you ever get to a point where you're going to want like all one color M&Ms? Or
some of that stuff is out of.
Honestly, I think people do it just because
to
it's
see
funny.
If it'll get
done. Will you really go this far?
Will you go this
and
far?
Do this shit? Because I thought about. I wanted a puppy in every city. You know what I'm saying? I just need it for the duration of the time there. You know what I mean? In case a little female come back there, be like, look, it's my puppy.
Like we asked for what? Full-length mirror. And
what's the craziest thing you asked for?
We honestly don't ask for crazy shit. Like we're very like we need this, and this. I mean, a full-length mirror. It sounds ridiculous, but
you need that.
You need your. You might start getting a pull-up bar in there or something.
Work it out.
Nah, I mean. You never think that living out of bags would be a certain way, but half the time, like, you're not really in these places. You get there maybe 3 hours before the show at best, if that. Most time we get to the city, it's time for sound check. You go do the sound check, you check in the hotel, you might have a couple hours, and we was opening most of it. We're not the headliner all the time. So the opener, that's the other thing. Yeah, as the opener, you might get there at 5 o'clock. As the opener, you probably going at 9:30. Sometimes earlier than that. So it's like you going to the hotel, you come right back. So it helps to have certain things there. It helps to have certain amenities there.
It was not going.
And then even for us, even further than that, selling merchandise, selling CDs after the show is essential. There's certain things about the road that's fun, but it's a job.
It's work.
It definitely has its purpose.
What's like you said, like when you have you ever, let's say, who's the biggest act that y'all opened up for?
Not mine. It's my shit crash.
I mean, how open for a lot of people.
You said the biggest?
Yeah, like the biggest act.
The biggest, wow.
The biggest act? Probably been the MTV shit.
Gym Class Heroes.
Yeah. But they weren't even the opener. They were opening. It was like Dashboard Confessional.
Oh, okay.
Like the biggest hip hop act. I mean, Probably still, I don't know. Well, Common, yeah, because I mean, we've done Common, Slick Rick, Redman,
Clips.
Yeah.
So how like when y'all not familiar with, or the crowd might not be familiar with y'all.
I mean, every single show.
That's
Exactly.
every show.
Every show.
So I mean, it gets better now, but we had to build a base. And
so how do you do it? How do you get them?
You learn that
energy.
A show, yeah. What you give an audience is what they're gonna give back, and you can't think of a show as I'm gonna basically perform my album. Like you can't think like that. Like you think about high energy, a lot of crowd participation, and wherever you can put familiarity in is, what you do. So that's why you get a lot of times where people will flip. Yeah, like that's what we do. Like I'm a DJ, I'm a party DJ, so like that's what we kind of take it to. You know what I'm saying? We take it to the party level where we're still performing our records, but we have enough breaks in it and enough crowd participation where they're in it. Like we do stuff that not necessarily everybody else is doing. To just make it pop. Because our thing is, as an opener, we're basically warming up the crowd for whoever's going on. So that's what it's about. It's the warm up. A lot of times people get caught up because they try to think a little bit further past what their position and situation is when they're, like you need to get what you want to do at a show when no one knows you is get to the point where people want to go back and find out. Like I kind of heard that record, but now I want to go. Let me go and listen to the MySpace. Let me go listen to the album and see what it really sounds like. Because
when you're opening for certain people, you got to know your audience. Like a Clips crowd ain't the same as a Common crowd, and that's not the same as a Redman crowd. So it's like during the Redman tour, we could open up the show and say, who's smoking tonight? And everybody going nuts. I can't do that at a Common show. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're doing. All of that, you know what I'm saying? And eating granola bars.
Yeah, we like to do that. We throw granola bars in the crowd so often.
But I'm saying, like, everything, how do you tailor it? Certain records, like, Common fans are mostly, like, you'd be surprised, female. He has a lot of female fans that actually buy tickets, or if it is like dudes there, they there with their girl. So, it's a little bit more, you can go a little bit more soulful. You don't have to be as high energy. It skews older, because he's an older artist, so the crowd is a little bit older. Whereas, with the Clips, it look like a Bape convention or something. It's just like, it's super young. It's people, it's that Complex magazine crowd.
Yeah, ice creamed out.
And it's like, they too cool for school and they just nod their heads. And that's all you can ask from them. But, it's just, you just got to know what you're working with. Know who you catering to. But when it's people who, when we're doing venues where people actually know us, we still give the same amount of energy.
Driving down the block like what else should a brother do? It's Saturday, the heat might smother you. Driving down the block, lower just surfing. Open up the trunk, bass crazy kicking. Driving down the block, lower Jerry tape, lower Jerry tape, bass crazy kicking.